I've been getting a lot of questions about CHEK, such as why it tanked after this FDA news, and especially after it went nearly parabolic, or I guess it did go parabolic, and made a 200% run, but only to give back nearly all of those gains and left a lot of unsuspecting retail investors holding the bag. More importantly though, where is this stock gonna go? Where's it gonna end up? Should you be buying? Should you be selling? What exactly do you do in a position like this? Well, today in this video, I want to tell you the honest to God truth about CHEK, but I'm only going to do so if you think you can handle it. So if you're one of the ones that can handle it, stick around because we're going to be starting right now. Hey, what's going on? It's Pat from Top Ticker Trades. If you're new here and you want to learn how to use stocks and options to make your portfolio go parabolic, make sure you start now by subscribing and tapping that bell so you never miss an upload. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to yet another video. Today we're talking about CHEK or CHEK cap. We're going to take a look at why the stock got dumped right after receiving positive FDA news. And then we're going to also discuss why it's selling off right now and not really wanting to recover. So I have 3 reasons for you. And these are reasons as to why the stock tanked and why it's still tanking and we're not really seeing a recovery right now. So reason number 1. Now, when we first received an announcement of FDA approval, a lot of people were under the impression that this meant that the company's device, the C-scan, had been through all of the studies required in order to get FDA approval and was now ready for commercialization. At least that's what everybody was thinking based on what was read or what was written in those articles, but it couldn't be any further from the truth. So basically there is no news coming anytime soon. The news that we did receive that was in those articles is basically saying that the FDA is approving the pivotal study of this device, meaning that the company can now start studying the effects and the safety of this device, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Now from there, the next news that we're going to get is going to be about the participants. So the company first has to find participants to even participate in the study, and they're looking for like 200 something participants if I can remember correctly. But once they've done this, they've identified all of their participants, then they're going to have to organize and run the study, and they're not even expecting for it to start until the end of 2021. So it's several months away for us to just get some more news kind of like this, but pretty much nothing, except, hey, we got all our 200 participants. Yeah, that's what we're going to find out closer towards the end of the year. And then who knows how long this study's going to take. Maybe it'll happen by the end of this year. We're basically looking at a very speculative company, and therefore we're not going to see a lot of price action, and we're not going to see, pretty much anything going on with the share price other than it doing what it's been doing, which is moving very slowly or not at all. The volume on this has been about 2 million on average. Sometimes on a good day we see around, close to 4 million. Now, the day that this news came out, the volume was about 400 to 500 million. So this should let you know something, but pretty much everyone was under the assumption that this was the actual approval of the device, and everybody was jumping in. So naturally, they're all gonna dump once they find out this news was actually referring to the company just having permission to run the study. So let me very quickly walk you through what happened on the day of the announcement, okay? We saw a bunch of headlines on different articles that were talking about FDA approval for the C-scan. People misinterpreted this. I say people because a lot of the people that are investing aren't really investors. They're kind of just going around buying stocks, but they're not really familiar with why they're buying them. They're also new to investing in general and new to trading because some of them want to be traders. And you've got a lot of new, what you can call wannabe day traders, wannabe intraday traders, people that are trying to swing trade and just make a quick buck, but don't really understand how trading works. They don't really understand what they're supposed to be doing. They don't really know what they're supposed to be looking for when they're looking at these stocks, especially these biotech companies that have different news coming out. That's hard to understand, even for some of us that have experience trading them. And it does take a little bit of research sometimes to kind of get to the bottom of what an article is saying or what a filing is saying and what it actually means, how to research it, where to even look. So they're basically depending on whatever article comes out that they happen to see, and they're at the mercy of what that article says. Now, some articles come from legitimate sources or reputable sources, while other articles will not come from reputable sources and are basically written only to satisfy somebody's personal agenda. So they're self-serving to the extent of the author being financially compensated by either an institution or some other entity or person that stands to financially benefit from that stock move in one direction or another. So essentially we're talking about stock manipulation here, and yes, it is a very common problem, and especially with the internet and the ease of putting out information out there that can essentially, in some instances not even be traced back to the author. But my point here is that these new investors and new traders are going to run into these less reputable companies that are putting out articles, and these articles are going to try to sway them one way or another, which can easily be accomplished through a misrepresentation of the facts. Sometimes the facts are just slightly misrepresented. Other times, you've got something that's put out there that really doesn't even remotely represent the truth. So in the case of CHEK, most of the articles that I actually saw, in the headlines, it would use the word FDA, and it also used the word approval. So needless to say, to one of these new investors or traders, this looked like the company had actually secured FDA approval before the stock really takes off and starts moving. Well, now they've got Webull, which allows you to trade at 4 a.m. And by the way, do you need a Webull account? That is, if you don't have one. That way you can trade from 4 a.m. until 8 p.m. and even get you some free stocks while you're at it. All you gotta do is use the link in my description below. But now back to the topic. They're looking at this as a hobby now, and they're kind of addicted to the fast money that we've been seeing for over a year now, and they jump in without really understanding what's going on. And then you've got other new investors and traders just like them that are waking up in the morning and seeing that CHEK just made a huge move, and then they get wind of these articles that say FDA and approval. You've probably got some shorts. This turns into panic buying. And for some of these people, the panic buying is a result of FOMO. They just don't want to miss out. For others that are short sellers, they're scrambling to buy because they're scared shitless that they're going to lose money. It's kind of comparable to if you've ever sold a stock because it's going down, then you kind of know what a short seller feels like, except I think short sellers actually feel much worse because it can get very bad for them very quickly. Imagine yourself, you've got a stock like CHEK that the company is a solid company, but you're thinking in your head that the stock's not going to move because it never really makes a move. It's very rare. And news is far away, or at least actual news that'll move the stock in a way that'll affect you as a short seller is very distant in your opinion. So when you wake up and you see the stock up 10, 20, 30, 40, 100%, and then 200%, I mean, you're going to start buying very quickly once you realize that this damn thing is going parabolic. And when you're buying, or if you're buying, then you already know there's tons of other people like you that have shorted the stock that are all having to go in there and buy back like immediately because you're losing a ton of money. And I think that that's partially why CHEK ran up so much, and it's all because of people that didn't really understand what they were reading in these articles and didn't know how to properly evaluate the stock. So they rushed to buy, they ran up the price of the stock, and then pretty much started a chain reaction that had everybody else, like the short sellers, run up the price of the stock even further, when all that had to happen in the first place was that the people that initially bought in, they should have done their DD long in advance. And it's also a prime example of why you should just never jump in on a position just because it's running up. If you don't know anything about that company or the stock, then how do you even know what it's supposed to be valued at? How do you know what the shares are supposed to cost? I mean, are you gonna buy just because it's running up? If it hits $10, you're gonna keep buying. If it hits 20, are you gonna just assume that it's supposed to be worth 20 or 25 or 30, so you're gonna keep buying every step of the way? And this price action, I'm sure for a lot of people, for newbies, was pretty much a confirmation that something major just happened, and then whatever news they see, whatever article they see, they pretty much just see the headline. They don't even have to read the article. They see the headline says FDA in it, so they're assuming that the device got approval, it's ready for commercialization. Let's just buy the crap out of this thing right now before we miss out. And when these big boys do pull their money out, that means they're selling something. And what better to sell than a stock that they know or they believe is overvalued? We know in this case that CHEK was certainly undervalued because, hell, it hit $4.49 at some point, but it's not really a $4.49 stock based on this specific news. They've still got a long way to go. So even if they were a $4.49 stock or a $4 stock based off of this news, people are still going to dump them because people are impatient. So your retail investor is not going to sit around and wait for news that's, 8 months away before anything else happens with this stock that's speculative. If they think that they're going to just sit here and the stock is going to remain pretty much stagnant, not move, not give them any more returns, this newer investor, the inexperienced investor, they're spoiled and looking for big moves all the time. They want to see price action going up every single day. They don't understand what it means to be patient. I mean, they haven't been conditioned to that type of environment, that kind of market environment. Think about the market environment that they've seen since day one, the market environment that they've heard about prior to them actually getting into it themselves. Now this doesn't apply to everybody, but I would say that it applies to most, given the trend that we've seen here. At least they think that they can go somewhere else and put that same money in another stock and get better and bigger returns. So they're going to go ahead and take profits off of this trade if that's what they're doing. And as a result of that, you're going to see heavy selling pressure coming from every which way when you're looking at a stock like CHEK. So you're going to see pressure from the institutional traders and investors, and you're going to see selling pressure coming from the little guy. And whenever you see big sales coming out from these institutional investors, and all they're trying to do is take their profits and then move them into recovery stocks or stocks that they're getting into because of the cyclicality of the stock market. They're rotating out into a different sector that they believe is going to be popping off or has already started to pop off, and then plan on coming back later. Well, when these new investors and traders see these sell-offs taking place, are unable to identify this as a sector rotation. They're probably thinking it's a market crash. They're, at that point going to get scared. They're going to dump. So it's kind of like a domino effect. One thing happens, which causes another thing to happen. But the end result for all of this is essentially going to be the same. The stock will sell off. And, everybody's trying to get rid of their stocks because they think that, the market's crashing. And then, all the volume is gone, because naturally this stock trades at about 2 to 4 million every single day. That's about the average volume. So unless there's news or reason for this stock to actually get more people coming in there to buy or sell, then that's going to be the average every day, which means not much price action going on other than maybe some selling taking place because other new investors are getting impatient, scared. Maybe some people are getting margin calls because of the actual rotation that's going on in the stock market. Stocks like CHEK, penny stocks, speculative stocks, are going to get hit the hardest. The actual misinterpretation of the FDA announcement that was made is going to act as a catalyst in this selling pressure. So that was one of my reasons, but my second reason that I was actually going to name was going to be the sector rotations, but I kind of already hit that when I was talking about reason number one. And believe it or not, the third reason is also related directly to all of this, and I also already broke it down and explained it to you. So reason number one would be, selling based on the company being overvalued at the time, and that's going to be due to the misinterpretation of the FDA news that came out. Number two would be institutions pulling out, take their profits and participate in the market rotation and the sector rotation.
And number three has to do with the retail investor. The retail investor selling for any other reason or all the other reasons we mentioned, such as being scared, fearing a market crash. It could be because they're impatient. All of this actually contributes to the stock losing share price. So let me know what you guys thought about this in the comments below. I know I kind of talked a lot, and this was kind of like a general overview of how this works, and not necessarily just about CHEK, but it was related to CHEK and that last incident. But I'm curious to see what you guys think. What's your opinion on this? Let me know in the comments below. Also, did you enjoy this video? Should I make more videos like this, or did you not like it very much? So if you guys don't mind, let me know all that in the comments below. And the last thing that I wanted to tell you is to check out my video that I actually did on CHEK, which kind of explains what the company does. It goes over the C-scan technology. Is actually a very entertaining and funny video, but also very informative. But everybody that's watched it really enjoyed it, so I think you guys might get a kick out of it. I'm gonna place it on the end screen, so check it out. And by the way, if you haven't smashed that like button already, make sure to do that for me because it greatly helps out this channel, and I'm asking for your help because I need it. And if you haven't joined this wonderful family yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap that bell so that you're always notified when I make videos just like this one, and then we'll have a wonderful time making money together.
While I have you here, I wanted to quickly tell you about the brand new First Trade app, available for mobile or PC. The platform will give you access to powerful and easy to use tools and allows you to trade with less restrictions, zero commissions, zero fees, and you can use the first link in the description below to download a free stock today without having to deposit any money. This will greatly help out the channel and is always appreciated. And now back to your regularly scheduled programming. Congrats, ladies and gentlemen, you've made it to the end of the video. If you like what you watched, make sure you subscribe because I put out videos just like this one every single day. And please do me a favor and smash that like button if I helped you in any way, because it really goes a long way in helping the channel out and keeps me motivated to make videos every single day. Now, there's a lot of work involved, a lot of research, and a lot of time and effort into editing and putting these out daily for you guys. You can subscribe from your screen right now, or if you want to watch one of my other videos, I'm sure YouTube has some good content picked out for you on the left-hand side of your screen now. Thanks for sticking it out with me till the end, and I will see you guys in the next video.